right? The reason everybody's here, you got that content supply chain in place. You're doing a ton of work. Everyone's hustling about it. But what makes for good content? Like, what are the key themes? What are the key things we have to know? Everyone's talking about personalization. What does that even mean? Is that good content? Just want to get some base level thoughts there.
Yeah, we definitely go by persona based personalization. That's like the number one way our sequences are broken down at Outreach. Um, Personalization it's not, always writing an email from scratch. That's definitely not the most efficient way for your reps to personalize. We typically coach our reps in the first 2-3 sentences of the email, grab a key personalization about the prospect, the company, the business, to show that you've actually done the research before you've reached out to the prospect and you know what you're saying is relevant to that prospect. Past those first couple sentences of personalization, we typically have the rest of the email templated with persona pains or our pitches, and then a call to action at the end. So to answer your question, personalization for us, it's typically, light personalization, make sure the prospect is engaged, briefly explain why you're reaching out and what that personalization has to do, tie it back in with each other, and then tie it up with the ask.
Is this every email that's sent, or is this like a certain, people are sort of moving away from saying tier 1, tier 2, but sort of in ICP versus out of ICP. Is everyone getting the same type of messaging, or are the sequences even designed a little differently depending?
Yeah, so our base sequences are really ICP related. So we're using a lot of the pains that, we have in a SaaS company as well. And then we take those same persona pains, tweak the messaging to then have outside of ICP. So like I talked about before, logistics, banking, all of those, the terminology that's a little different, but taking those same persona pains and kind of just tweaking from there rather than starting from scratch to be, as efficient as possible.